Yo, what's up? It's Power 106.5 Speak Life TV. It's your boy, Pastor Leon Purley, aka DJ Civil Rightz. And tonight's guest is all the way deep in Florida. We don't bring on my boy, Henny P. What's good with you, bro?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Oh, not too much, man. So, the first question I always ask is the salvation story, right? But before you do that, I just want to let everyone know that's tuned in right now that Mr. Henny P was the first and only producer that gave me a free beat, and you know they don't do that stuff anymore. And then also he recorded my first track called Spiritual Daggers, and the Angels Sing is the remix that's coming soon. So I just wanted to say thank you to Henny P, because no producer in the whole wide world has ever showed love like that. That was on a whole nother level. I won. I don't even know how I won it, but I won the free beat from Henny P, produced by DreamXound Productionz, and I was able to lay the vocals down in his studio when he was once in Tulsa. So I just wanted to share that with you guys and say thank you to you, Henny P, for showing that love.
Hey, dog, man, the pleasure's all mine. You know, it was a great opportunity, and actually we built a great friendship through that. You know what I'm saying? And I don't even remember how I got that idea. Honestly, it was just, or probably it was just like, hey, need to get some promotions going. You know, let me reach out to the community and put some beats up, you know, for a giveaway. You know, it's like, let me do these little weekly beats. You know what I'm saying? Everybody vote on this beat. What you think about it? Yeah, I think that's what it was. You must have voted on it or something like that, and then I put your name into a raffle. And then you won it like that. So, man, dog, like, I'm humble. It was a humbling experience, bro.
Yeah, man. And I appreciate that, because studio time isn't cheap, and we're going to get into that in a minute. Also, as a DJ, you know, it really made me think about, like, how serious it is for a producer to go into the studio, sit down, put in all of their hard energy and work to produce something, and then bless somebody free of charge for the sweepstakes that you were doing that day. And then on top of that, I came in and I recorded a song free again. So it was the overflow of blessings. So I don't take it lightly. That's why I'm belaboring it, because I mean, it's a big deal. Like, if you go on YouTube, my song is still up there, produced by DreamXound Productionz, and it's never coming down.
That's beautiful, bro.
Heavy in the streets.
I appreciate that.
Heavy in the streets, bro. So, for those who are just now tuning in, I got my boy Henny P from DreamXound Productionz, CEO of that establishment. So we're gonna get right into it, man. Go ahead and share with the world your salvation story. How did you come to know Christ?
Well, my parents, they raised me in the church. You know what I'm saying? So both my parents was you know, believers whenever I was brought into the world, 1984, when I stepped down, you know what I'm saying? And it was one of those things where I always had that around me, but going through high school, you know, as I started to get older, I started seeing things, and I was like, oh, I want to try that, you know, I want to test this out, you know, I want to be, you know, I was always known as the church boy, the good boy, you know, but then as I started getting a little, voice started dropping a little bit, started working out, flexing on cash. I was like, okay, my flesh started to kind of take over, you know, and I started doing things I knew I was supposed to do, you know what I'm saying? So I remember giving my life, though, at a very young age. It was either 3 or 4 when I remember we were saying like a little prayer, and me, my god sisters, and I think my god brother was there too, and I remember our parents leading us in salvation to Christ. And then when I was 8, kind of made a conscious decision. I got baptized at 8. So, you know what I'm saying, I was the firstborn too. So, you know, I was kind of the priest, you know, where it was like I was always dedicated to the Lord's service. You know, that's kind of how I was brought up. But I think when I got older, I just wanted to experience stuff for myself and say, okay, I don't want to just do this because my parents is making me do it. You know, and I think a lot of children and even adults, they struggle with that. It's like, oh, I grew up as a Catholic, or I grew up as a Christian, or whatever it may be, you know, and you feel like you have to do these things, you have to go to church, or you have to do these acts to please God or to be saved. And, you know, so I dabbled in a couple of things. I never really went too far and got in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was always like a protection, or always like an invisible invisible wall, if you would. Like, I just couldn't do something, you know what I'm saying? I would try to go out to the clubs, end up getting in trouble, or parents get called or something like that, you know, and be like, oh, here we go again. You know, we're going to have to whoop that behind. And then I would, like, be like, okay, this is not for me. And then I would try it again. And I remember even, like, with like, drugs, I never really got involved in drugs and nothing like that, you know what I'm saying? I just, like, I remember in high school, I would get involved in all kind of, you know, I would smoke some weed and, you know, go out to these parties. You know, we was underage and all that, cutting up, you know what I'm saying? And I remember one time going to a Bone Thugs and Harmony concert and being so high out my mind, and I didn't even remember much of the night. All I remember is just driving in the car and just feeling like I was going to throw up the whole time, you know, and just like, man, I really don't want to be here right now. And just feeling so out of place. Like, you know, if you ever go to a spot and you just the odd one out,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, yeah, I know I ain't supposed to be here. But so went through that a couple of times, and then always it always came back to, you know, the love of God just taking over me and just comforting me and just reminding me that, hey, you're my son, you know, and nothing that you can do will pull you away from the purpose that I have and the plans that I have for you. You know, it's always going to come back to that. And there'll always be an opportunity where I you know, ask God, forgive me, you know, I didn't mean to do that. So I've been through a lot, but, you know, if I was to go into all the little minor stories, we'd be here all night talking. So that's condensed.
Yeah, that's good. And just for FYI, a Lazy Bone from Bone Thugs drove you home that night. They never told you, but I just want to put that out there. A surprise.
So Lazy, he thought I was his little brother, you know what I'm saying? We kind of look alike. Yeah, for sure, man. We got Henny P on the line, man. Speak Life TV. For those who are just now tuning in, Henny P, define DreamXound. How did that come about? Define the name for those who are just now hearing it for the first time. Define the name first, and then explain how you birthed it and it came forth. All right, so the name DreamXound, it's two words if you look at it, dream and sound. But the way that I spelt it is with an X-O-U-N-D instead of an S-O-U-N-D. And just part of it is because of the generation that we live in. I was born right before this current generation, what they call the millennials. And so the X generation, if you want to call it that. So that was just a little something different, you know, to make it a little odd. But dream, you know, we think of things that you see when you're in a sleep state, or things that maybe you have a dream to be big one day, or a dream to accomplish this goal or something like that. So dream can be multiple meanings, you know, I've made it that way on purpose, you know, and then you put sound. Sound is an audible thing, or a thing that's audibly heard, you know, or a sound. If you ever hear someone say, oh, that's a sound idea, it means that, you know, you have a sound or a solid idea. You know, it means that it's a good quality and a great quality. So you put those two things together, you have a dream, something that may not even be tangible, or maybe something that's imagined, and then you have that sound. So then you bring them together, and as a great friend of mine, Kazi Owens, who's a spoken word artist, I asked him to do a spoken word piece about it. And he went into detail and just defined how it reaches beyond just the current where we're at. It reaches into the communities. It reaches into the personal struggle, the personal overcoming, you know. So it has many different facets, but that's kind of where you got inspired. And it kind of just came to me. I remember I was asking, I always used to put dream bigger on my tagline in email. And then, yeah, at one point, you know, I used to go by the name Dimensions, which was the initials DX, and which being DreamXound, DX as the initials again. So it kind of just always was with me. Like I guess subconsciously it just kind of came, and maybe through a dream, of all things, you know. So it just kind of burst through divine inspiration. For
sure. Shouts out to Kazi Owens, man. That's the homie and everything. That's the
homie right there, bro.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, how can a person like be down with DreamXound? I'm not. I know when we speak about production companies, Henny P, I know it's not like a record label per se. So like, let's say a up and coming producer wanted to get down with you. Is that something that is possible, feasible, or is it more so you have your crew or you have a team, or you just come in and you produce for the person? Tell us about the process of, you know, being in Florida and it's like, oh, DreamXound, how can we get down, or how can you produce stuff for me or for my album, mixtape, or EP?
Gotcha. Okay, so the best way to describe it is DreamXound Productionz was created in 2010, and it was the original vision that was given to me through God was a network where people can go to get assistance, to get direction. Let's say it's an up-and-coming artist that is not really sure what they want to do with their craft or their talent. And what DreamXound was going to be is to help them catapult or help them launch that dream or vision or goal, and to partner them with people of like mind or of similar quality. So really just to develop if you would, like a network all around, and not just certain states. So it could be Oklahoma, Miami, New York, Cali, like all over. That, you know, I believe that the Lord is building bases all around the country of pockets of just believers and people who don't want to just settle for what, you know, the industry standards are. You know, there's a lot of people that sell themselves and sell them souls just for a false image, to try to be down or try to, oh, I want to sound like this person on the TV screen, you know, this guy or this girl. This is a false image. And so that's one thing that I wanted to do with DreamXound, is really just to bring people back to the true artistry, the true music, and help give them direction and goals. So if someone, let's say they want to get involved with DreamXound, I would reach out to my network, you know, of producers and, you know, engineers, or even other artists, you know, that may be in their similar area or their, you know, their location, and see how we can help them accomplish what they want to do.
That's
what
good.
God has called them to do.
That's good, bro. That's real good. Good looking out, man. We need more producers out there doing such a thing. Explain the beat battles that you've been in, man. Like, I seen you with your hair all out and you producing and everything, and I was like, look at my boy Henny P in the beat battles. Like, I don't remember growing up, bro, and you know we all grew up around hip hop. I don't remember seeing a lot of those. So explain like how that feeling was for you, you know, being involved in that one. I don't know off the top of my head how many you've been involved in, but just share with us how you got linked up. How did it feel when you were actually up there in front of the people and you're you know, producing your beats and stuff? I thought that was pretty cool. So talk about that.
Oh, for sure. So check this out. Like, everybody has, or most people, let me say that, because we're addressing a broad audience. So many people may know when you see a rap battle, you know, or a hip hop battle, where you have two MCs that are in a stage or, you know, in front of an audience, and the audience is judging who is the better MC, or who has the most punchlines, or who left them feeling some type of way, you know, where they're just like, oh man, he got him, or he's lyrically more gifted than this other one. So think about that in relation to a producer. So a producer, a lot of the music that we hear is driven by the beat, you know, like you don't even have to be, nowadays, you don't even really have to be a great rapper. You know, you could get on the mic and fart, and, you know, maybe like, oh, that beat is tight though, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't even really care about the lyrical artistry anymore, which is kind of sad. But, you know, so when we get into these beat battles, I think the first one that I was in must have been like 2009 or 2008. It was a while ago. And basically you get together with two producers or more. Usually it's like four producers, and two, they go head to head. They play a beat, like let's say 30 seconds to a minute of a beat. Okay, so that beat, everybody's vibing to it, you know, and then the other producer plays his beat, and they're like, yo, he got him. Like, that beat is way hotter than this other one, you know. And then the crowd votes, and they either shout or they have like a little crowd-o-meter thing, and then, you know, they go on to the finals. So after the finals go, then they go head-to-head. You know, maybe it's like 2 or 3 rounds in between. So one person play a beat, other person play theirs, and then they play one more, something like that. So underground hip hop spot, and these awesome guys. One of the guys, his name is Joel, and he has this place called Catalyst, which is like an underground hip hop spot, and he's a pastor, so he brings in these b-boys, break dancers, graffiti artists, and I mean, talk about like true hip hop. It's like in all these hip hop heads in this spot, just vibing out, you know, and the spot is not even like real pretty. It looks like somebody's basement, you know.
Wow.
If you ever remember, like with
BET Rhapsody
figure, like what they used to have in the basement. Or
yeah, BET Rhapsody.
Raps. Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah. So it's very similar to that kind of feel, you know. And so we got in there, and so we get into this producer battle, and the cool thing about this one is, okay, all the artists have about a week or two to prepare. They give you a beat, or they give you a sample. That's what they did. Say, okay, Henny, you're gonna take this beat or take this sample from this song. I'm gonna give you two of them, and you have a week to make a minute-long beat. Make it as hype as you want, or do whatever you want to do to it, and then they give the same sample to every producer. So every producer has the same sample as you do, and you have to make your own twist on it, and then you come together, and then you play them all. So imagine the creativity, you know, because everybody has a different mind, and everybody has different abilities. When you hear the same sample, but flip 3-4 different ways, it was amazing, bro. I tell you, man, it was like, it was so refreshing, and honestly, I got kind of upset because, and you know, and I try to stay humble and stuff, you know, because I'm sitting there, I'm grabbing the mic, I'm like, yo, what's good? Y'all need to get off your tail and jump around a little bit, you know, and I'm trying to hype up the crowd.
Yeah.
And so some of the other producers up there, they're just like standing there, bobbing their head. I'm like, what kind of producer that? And then even some of them were sitting there like talking while they're on the stage, like trying to figure out, because I guess they didn't know how to run the boards or something, you know, the little the DJ equipment.
Yeah.
So we was kind of giggling in the back, like,
what is this?
It was cool, you know what I'm saying? It was a great learning experience, and everybody was working together. That was what I got. I was like, man, and all of them connected after the battle. You know, they was like, I didn't win that one because what happens is they brought out a lot of their crew. And a lot of people were actually, one of the producers came up to me, two of the producers came up to me, and they're like, yo, like, you got me in that one. Like, they gave me props, you know what I'm saying? Because real recognized real, you know, in that, you know, in that kind of realm, you know?
Yeah.
So
for sure.
It was a great experience, and so that's kind of how a producer battle goes. You know, I kind of said a lot, but
no, that's good, bro. That's good, man. We're relaxing, man. We're at home on this show. So, thinking about battles and everything, what's your thoughts, Henny P, on Pumpkinhead passing away? Are you familiar with that guy?
I ain't never heard of him.
Okay, well, he's supposed to be one of the biggest street battle rappers, since we were in relation to, you know, talking about battles and everything. And Talib Kweli, you know him. Technique and Moral Technique.
Moral Technique, yeah.
Yeah, all of these guys are like really, really close friends to this dude. He died at 39, and so
he was in that crew, yeah.
Yeah. So with that being said, knowing him very well, I mean, it was my first time hearing about him too. But what's your thoughts, bro, when you're in the industry, whether it's let's just say hip hop, just in general? What's your thoughts on that, man? Like, a lot of artists dying so early, and he wasn't murdered or anything. They said he died from unknown cause, but like but to be 39, he left a wife behind, kids, had a baby on the way. And it's just like, it burdens me, bro, as a pastor, as a Christian DJ, you know, when I see stuff like this, because I'm like, wow, everyone has talents that God has given them. And when they're gone, it's like you go on their YouTube and you're still trying your best to find, man, did they thank God at least once? Did they have salvation? Right. Did they have this? So what's your takes? And not even just with Pumpkinhead, because I mean, we can talk about Slim Duncan, we can talk about Heavy D. A lot of them have gone.
Oh, a bunch. Yeah.
Yeah, how do you feel about that as it being in the music industry?
Yeah, here's the thing. With the music industry, I believe that you get really talented people, you know, who have maybe a drive or a passion to touch millions of lives with their music, their art, their creative ability, right?
Yes.
So when you get involved with the industry, far as mainstream industry, I guess what happens to a lot of them is the mainstream media wants to make a lot of money, and they end up losing the true heart of the artist, and so what happens is they want to capitalize, and they see potential, or they see greenbacks. This is pretty much what they see whenever they're looking at them, because it's like, okay, what's in it for me? You know, if we have to sacrifice this artist at the cost of me making a come up, or me establishing this company for longevity, so be it. You know, and so you see these artists that they rise and then they fall like flies in, you know, it may even be a short-lived career. Some you still see hanging around, but I think what happens is, you know, the artist is just trying to do what they love. You know, they're just pursuing their passion. You know, and so they end up even compromising their beliefs, some things that they may even have grown up in. You know, let's say their parents raised them, for instance, in the church, right? So they know the kind of people to look out for. They know the wolves in sheep clothing, if you want to say that. Yeah. So when they see this guy's coming up in a shiny suit, it's like, yo, brother, I like your style. Let me take you and let me make you a star. You know, and so they feed them all these lies and everything that sounds good. They sell them exactly what they want to hear. One of my homeboys that I work with, he says selling salt. You know, so they professional salt sellers, which it's not the good kind of salt. You know what I'm saying? So you come and, like, if you say I'm a salt seller, what does that mean? You know, it really doesn't mean anything, because it's like, okay, what I'm gonna do with all this salt? So someone selling you some kind of mess or something, just tell them that. Be like, bro, quit selling that salt. So anyway, these salt sellers, shiny suits, salt sellers. There you go. Try to say that 3 times fast. Yeah. So they come up trying to make them happy, and then the people, they fall into it, and they fall into this trap, and then they end up, even and the females especially, you know, because, you know, they may be beautiful or have a really great voice, and so the people just, you know, they feed them all the lies, just like, oh yeah, you know, I see great plans for you, you know, and so they end up taking them on this path that's way off of what God originally intended for that person. You know what I'm saying? So that person is supposed to be changing lives, making lives better, giving them inspiration, giving them hope. And instead, they end up polluting and just corrupting the minds of the kids, and, you know, even the adults. I mean, everybody. You know what I'm saying? And so they think that, oh, getting up on stage and shaking your booty and dressing in barely nothing at all is normal, and that's great, and that's sexy, or what, you know, whatever. They think that that's a normal thing, and it's not. You know, and so then you see these people start dying of unknown causes, and you know, someone who was so gifted and talented, they overdosed randomly, or the stories don't add up, and it seems like there's a lot of secrecy and lies that are just used to basically cover up evil intentions and evil plans that are going on. It's a corrupt industry, and we have a job as leaders and as DJs and even producers to help bring back the true artistry in these artists and not pollute and corrupt the mind of them. You know what I'm saying?
That's good. That's real good, bro. So Lecrae works with secular artists, and, you know, there's always mixed views on that, good and then bad, and then bad then good, and people go back and forth, and, you know, even with being called a non-Christian rapper, just a rapper that just so happens to be a Christian. How does Henny P work with artists? Christian, unchristian, saved, unsaved? Do you get into the politics of that, or do you just feel led like, hey, maybe God sent this person into the studio for me to be a blessing? Or explain your process.
Sure. So at a young age, I remember I used to listen to these there was a record label called Great Tree Records. I don't know if you remember it or not. And there were a lot of great artists. It was a Christian label. And they brought a lot of great artists out. And one of the artists on there, his name was Prime Minister, and he said something that stuck with me. And I've kind of used it for a while. And he said, a lot of people may call me a Christian rapper. He said, but do you relate that same, or do you place that same label on any other profession? Whenever it may be a baseball player or a boxer, you know, do you call them a Christian boxer or a Christian baseball player? No, you call them what their office or their position is. You know, they they are a boxer who is Christian, or a a baseball player who is Christian, and so when I heard that, I said, okay, so my fruit speaks louder than my label. And so, because I would see that thing where these people would come and say, oh yeah, I'm Christian rapper, you know what I'm saying, like this and that, and then they're the most crooked one out of them all, and so it's like that label means nothing to me if you're trying to influence or bamboozle me to make me like you or accept you into, because you may be a Christian, but you start compromising your own beliefs and everything just to make a quick dollar. Then you lose the essence of what you're trying to do and save the lost. That's what you're trying to do, and you end up just corrupting them instead. So, whenever I work with an artist, I tell them, this is what I stand for. I'm a believer of Jesus Christ. These are the principles I base my whole business model and everything off of my life, and I'm walking proof, of this is who I follow. So I come into the area that I'm in Miami, especially. You get a lot of people that's stuck on self. So all they care about is just the money, the girls, the cars, the clothes. It's all self and material things. I meet a lot of that here. So it's very difficult to, especially people who don't know or maybe have never been a Christian. When I lived in Oklahoma, it was a little bit easier because, there's a lot of Bible schools and a lot of, campuses, schools, and everything that who are either heard of Christ before or they don't know anything.
There's a church on every corner. I signed a lease in my apartment. There was a church inside my apartment. I said, wait 1 second, Henny P.
That's what they call it. What do they call it? Overpopulated or over? Not infested. That sounds so nasty. Like we infested with some bro. Every corner. You're right. But,
every corner.
Well, here it's a little different. It's complete opposite, and no one knows. No one even seems like they want to know. Or Jesus. And it was a shocker for me when I first moved here, bro, because I was so exposed to that. Like I said, I grew up in the church, and this was like, I was like, oh my God, my soul is on fire. Like, what am I feeling? Like, this atmosphere is not healthy for me, man. But God has a plan, and He sends you into those places that no one else wants to go. It's for a reason. And so that's the reason, part of the reason why I'm here is to bring light into this dark area, and just share the love of Christ and just the power of God while I'm here. I don't know how long it may be, but while I'm here, I don't try to shut people out, bro. And that's, I think, what so many people are used to here is they get preached at and they get condemned because of their sin. And, even the Bible talks about Christ saved us while we were still yet sinners, So for me to, just say, oh, I'm not going to talk to you because, I may not necessarily agree with everything that, that you do. I'm shutting out an opportunity for the love of God to be shown to this person and to possibly save that soul. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what it's all about, is saving the lost. And so it doesn't mean that I compromise, my beliefs and partake in things. And that's what I think a lot of people end up doing is it's like, well, I'm just trying to reach out to them. It's like, yeah, but you smoking crack with them, How useful are you going to be if you die? You know what I'm saying?
Easy, Wesley Snipes.
Wisdom, man. Come on, don't be stupid. And use wisdom, when it comes to these things. Ask God for wisdom. You get in your prayer time, and just ask God, okay, how do you want me to be the perfect example of you in this dark area? I need your help. I can't do this alone. And that's all it is. You don't even have to overcomplicate it. Just ask God for help. And so I meet some people that I never would have had contact with and end up even opening a door to minister to them. And someone who's like, no, I'm an atheist. I don't even believe. And so I start questioning. I start repeating back what they're saying to what they don't believe in. And so they really start to think like, I never really thought about it that way. And so you get yourself into these really interesting interactions, and that happens in the studio, on the streets, or wherever,
Yeah, that's deep, bro. Really deep. Really deep. Tell us about ministry out there while you're on the topic, like how you've been involved at your church and everything.
So when we first moved out here, my wife and I were involved with the pastor that used to actually live in Oklahoma. His name was Pastor Gio Hurtado.
Oh, wow.
And he did missionary work in Cuba, Nicaragua, and Colombia. you know, all over and all over the world. So I was just like, let's partner, because we really didn't know anybody or any churches when we first moved out here. We got recommendations, but you know, it's a whole new world. And so my pastor, well, at the time, he was my friend. He started the church. We helped him build it. I did the music ministry area. You know, I just did the videos and production stuff. And you know, for about, I'm still there actually, 3 years. It's Faith for All Nations Church, and there's a lot of community things that we do. You know, where we go out to the community and, you know, help out the, you know, whether it be the homeless or, you know, the missionary work. We do videos and things just to bring awareness that, you know, a lot of these places that no one wants to go, that there's teachers and there's even pastors there that are just uneducated, and doctrine stuff is all screwed up because no one ever showed them what the real is, you know. And so they're sitting there and they're trying to teach and lead people, and they don't even have the right tools. So they're building schools, you know, they're building Bible schools out there in partnership with other ministries. And I partnered up with a few other. We also do this Bible study with a good friend of mine named David Rios, called it's Restore, Rescue, and it's Rescue, Restore, and Refresh. And so we have this little Bible study that we do on South Beach. And so we'll go to different locations, whether it's Starbucks or some little burger shack somewhere, Shake Shack. You know, we'll just go and meet up there, and we'll have Bible study right there. And, you know, people will be walking by and stuff, and we're just reading from the Bible, you know, and anybody who wants to sit and join, sure, come on, come sit down, you know.
Wow.
So just being out there and just being an example of Christ in the streets, and you come across some really interesting, you know, sometimes we have a hobo that would just come up and be like, oh, I don't believe in God. And we're just like, okay, well, if you want to learn a little bit more about what we're talking about, feel free to just sit in. And they were like, okay, you know, and then we'll have like, oh, do you want some coffee? You know, you give them what they really need first, or what they think they need. You know, you give them a little sustenance, and then they feel a little bit better. You know, okay, thank you, I'm hungry. Yeah, I need that. And then we start ministering to them, just loving on them. Say, hey, you know, we don't have any kind of ulterior motives. We just want to share the love of God with you. And they're just curious, like, why? You know, like, why do you even care? You know, I asked you for $1. You know, why do you even care about me? And that's the open door. So, you know, we do those kind of things there. And ministry it's all around. It's all around you here, you know, and everywhere. It doesn't matter where you are in the United States, because there's many different places that some people just won't want to go. I live in the hood. Honestly, I live in a place called Little Haiti, and it's a nicer area. You know, it's not too crazy, but I hear gunshots. You know what I'm saying? I hear, you know, people running up and down the street and stuff, you know, on their bikes. You know, it kind of look like, if you ever seen a Grand Theft Auto game where they riding by on the bikes, you know, and the colors and everything. I see that, you know what I'm saying? But there's I don't know, I'm not afraid of those things anymore, because they're people just like you and me.
Yeah.
You know?
Man, that's wild, bro. Like God, he gave us all a heart, man, for survival and just being out there in Miami, and then to think about, Henny P, how different it is to be in Tulsa and then to be in Miami. Like, that's a huge difference, obviously. And you know, if I had the opportunity to go to Miami, I would do exactly what you just got done conveying to everyone that's tuned in about the evangelism on the beach and evangelism around the city. A goal of mine would be, for me as a DJ, is to reach out to DJ Khaled. Now, I don't know if he lives there, or I know he has a radio show in Miami, but I mean, he's always traveling, so I don't know if things are pre-recorded or however they do it, but that's a dude I would really, really like to meet and just chop it up. I know he's a Muslim and everything, but just to be able to sit down and chop it up with him, you know, about faith and music and everything, that would be a good look, man. So if you ever pass him, you tell him, like, hey, DJ Civil Rightz needs to talk to you. Here's his number. And
you believe it. You believe it. I see a lot of people actually out here. You know, I've crossed paths with a few. You remember Mace from Bad Boy?
Yeah.
Yeah, like he was in the studio that I work at like not too long ago. It was last year, and
wow.
Well, he goes by. I don't even know what's really going on, honestly.
Yeah.
Remember he went into the pastor, you know, to try to do Pastor Mason. And I guess, you know, just had a change of heart and different things. It didn't work out how he wanted, but you know, seeing him, you know, French Montana, these guys, Rick Ross, they all around here. You know what I'm saying? And
man.
So Drake and Weezy and all of them, they everywhere. You know, they come to the clubs and stuff, and so they around. But the studio that I recently started working at, I'm getting exposed to a lot of the connections. You know, the connections are just becoming smaller, and a lot of people just like, oh, you know, so and so, and you hang out with that person. Those titles don't mean anything, or stardom. It doesn't really mean anything when you see the true heart of people.
Yeah,
you don't get so starstruck. And I know you know what I'm saying, because you've been around and you've seen a lot of people, met a lot of people, and you just realize they're hurting, dying people just like everyone else.
Yeah,
you know, and they need love and they need help.
Yeah. Yeah, I would like to another place I forgot to mention, Henny P, is the Mansion. Are you close to that club?
Me personally, I've never really been inside it, or maybe I did once. I mean, yeah, it's been 3 years. A lot has happened. I'm trying to remember if I actually ever went. I remember walking around outside of it, like on South Beach, but I don't know personally if I've ever been inside it, though.
Yeah, the reason why I brought it up, because that would be another place I would like to set up shop and do some ministry and everything. I don't know too much about Miami because I haven't been there personally, but I'm just like trying to connect the dots. Like, wow, bro, like you have such a huge platform and a huge opportunity of what you're doing. I commend you for that, and I know that you will continue to do greater things for the kingdom. And so that's why I brought it up. I was like, yeah, Mansion, man, where's that? Because see, me, I'm the time I'm always asking about different venues and different places, because I'm that dude that, you know, will go by myself. You know, I'm the one that will be talked out of showing up at a secular concert so I can stand outside and pass out civil rights mixtapes. You know, it's like, I just feel like that's what we are called to do. Like, you know, I don't know, Henny P. Talk about the politics in CHH.
Whew, man, politics. So when it comes to really trying to be real with people,
yes,
and then trying to appear to be real with people, they'll sniff you out in a heartbeat. So if some people know that you're coming with an ulterior motive, or you're just trying to make appearances, then that's when they start to just block you. You know what I'm saying? And end up be like, yo, this guy is just here for, you know, maybe want to make themselves look good, or say that they did this for the community, if they did that, you know. But when you really take the time to bond with people, like I said, you clothe or you feed, you do things, you know, where you take care of their natural body first. Sometimes that's an open door, you know, or let's say like you're spending time and you're listening, you know, you spend a lot of time listening, and whether it's a homeless ministry, because there's a lot of homeless, you know, like in New York, you know, because that's where I'm from, and it reminds me a lot of the homeless population that's up there. You know, they're everywhere here. Even it's a beautiful city, but then you walk by and you see these people just begging for food, or just for anything, you know. So there's a lot of I think there's a lot of politics and people that try to just make, if you would like call it like a quota, you know, or just check that off the list and say, okay, I donated this much, or I donated this charity. It's sad, man. It's like, where's your heart at? Like, check your heart. Do a heart check.
Yeah.
To say, why are you doing this? Do you really even care about these people? You know, and then you also realize that not, you know, you try to reach everyone. You know, the goal is to say, make sure everyone has an opportunity to come into the knowledge of who Christ is, and the love that's there for them. And then you realize some people are going to reject it, you know, and it's not your job to be, you know, one of these guys. We go out sometimes, we go out to like Bayside, where, you know, there's a lot of tourists that come in from, you know, all over South America. And me and these guys, I love these guys, man. Well, it's like me, a guy named Bobby, and a guy named Philip. And we just go out and we just kind of watch, you know, we people watch. And, you know, if the Lord prompts us to share a testimony with someone, or just pray with someone, say, hey, do you have any pain in your body? You know, just walk up to random people. And I'll tell you what, man, we've had some amazing miracles happen just right there, you know what I'm saying, in the open, you know what I'm saying? Just ministering to people right there in the spot. And then sometimes, like one time this guy got healed, his leg, he had this cane. He's in there dancing in front of the stage, and just we're sitting there just praising God, you know, and everybody's looking around like, what's going on?
Man.
So I've seen some random occurrences, dog, like, and that's the main thing is that people are looking for, is that true, the true person, you know, the true representation of who Christ is.
Man, you gotta be authentic with this, man. You have to. What artists are you currently working with, and name a few artists that you would love to work with in the future?
Okay, so a few artists that I still connect with back in Oklahoma. I still talk every now and then with Ricky Fisher, Ty Andrew, the Heiress. I work with actually my brother, David Pullis, who's he has Sign Music. That's the name of the company. He's been working with a lot of the same circles. So, for instance, we're in the same circles with Jerry Manna, AJ K-Sun, Jay Royal. Let's see who else. I work with See Through Jeremiah Dabney. You know, he's one of the producers that I kind of came up with when I first started DreamXound. You know, we still in communication. I produced for, I've edited and done some mastering for Zig Madison. I work with out here in Miami. I actually ran into this old jazz legend, believe it or not. His name is Dr. Lonnie Smith, and he's one of the pioneers of the Hammond B3 organ. And we're really good friends, so we're working on a few projects together in the near future. So stay tuned. There's an artist that I work with. His name is Will Tilma. He's a songwriter. Terrence Nobles is one of them. There's an artist that I recently came into contact with called Edris Hinojosa. He's a great artist from Cali. He's kind of has like a Bruno Mars type feel, if you would, like that jazzy, poppy type sound. There's so many. There's an artist named Majestic that I've been working with for a while. Great R&B singer.
Okay.
Let's see. There's a couple off the top of my head. I'm just trying to go through the list of everybody, make sure I didn't forget everybody. My brothers, like I said, I work with David, and Raphael is my other brother. We're working on a few projects. I'm actually working on a solo project too, which may be released this year, hopefully by around Christmas. I'm not sure. Just like an EP. Will Bigger, that's my boy. Will Bigger was one of the ones there from the beginning. I always work with Will Bigger. Trying to think if I forgot anybody.
You got to do You got to do a remix for me one day too again.
I mean, DJ Civil Rightz in the building.
That's right.
And, you know, you my boy. We're gonna have to do it again.
Cause we don't. Okay. I'm always talking about doing it big and being heavy in the streets, but I may have to go ghetto style and call your phone one day and rap, and then you just add the vocals to. Hey, Henny P, is that even possible, bro? like, be honest, is that possible? Like, if I were to rap on the answer machine, could you take the vocals and like put it to a beat?
Hey, bro, you remember when Shine did that when he was locked up? I mean, that's quite possible, bro. You know we can do that.
Shine did that for Diddy? Shine did that?
Locked up, you know.
Wow.
Hey, that's all you got to do is basically I say I give you like a beat or like a rhythm, like give me the tempo, and then hey, just keep that tempo going with a metronome, and then you rapping on the beat, dog.
Wow, that's interesting. I think I'm gonna experiment.
Have fun with it.
Man, let me find out I can spit 32 bars. And okay. That's good, bro. Okay, so you're a busy man, and I do appreciate your time. The last question for the interview is my favorite closing question, and this question is: when it's all said and done, when the music stops, when there's no more beats to be made, and it's the final hour. What legacy does Henny P want to leave behind for America? How would you be remembered? How do you want to be remembered? What will people say at the funeral? What type of legacy do you want to leave behind?
Well, one thing that I do want to, I want to leave an imprint on this generation is that they didn't compromise. I didn't compromise who God made me to be. That everything that I've worked on, everyone that I've worked with, remembers how the genuineness of who I was, just to refer them, to get them back in purpose. You know, really, I want to see everyone fulfill their purpose of why they're put on this earth. And I want to be remembered as a catalyst for helping people achieve their purpose on this earth.
That's good. That's good.
I definitely want the Lord to say, hey, you know, you reminded people of my love. You know, you showed the love no matter who it was, no matter where it was, but you always stayed true, and you help them get rid of their innermost fears by just shedding the love of God with them. You know what I'm saying? Just even if it was in passing, you know, maybe it was a small little thing, just reminded them that, you know, God is available to anyone and everyone.
Amen. Amen. That's good, bro. All right, Power 106.5 Speak Life TV. It's been a pleasure, Henny P. So before we go, I always give everyone the platform to give your shout-outs, where people can get a hold of you, your social media. Go ahead and hook the world up.
Oh, for sure. Hey, once again, thank you for the opportunity. DJ Civil Rightz here. This is my boy. You know, y'all definitely follow and stay tuned with him. It's a good dude. If you need to reach me, I go by Henny P. DreamXound Productionz is the name of the company, and I'm also affiliated with Addicted to Fame Studios. Fame standing for Follow, Aspire, Multiply, Elevate. Came into contact with them this last year, and we've been grinding in Miami. So if you need to reach us, you can go to my Facebook. It's DreamXound Productionz. You know, you can find me at Henry Pullets is my main page. And then if you need to just find the DreamXound page, it's DreamXound Productionz. I have a SoundCloud on there, same thing. I'm the only DreamXound, you know, so no one can take that name.
That's right.
At least with the X on it. So Dream and then XOUND. Twitter at DreamXound. I also have one at Henny P 23. You can find me on LinkedIn, same thing at DreamXound. If you need to get at me on Reverb Nation, you can look up DreamXound Productionz label, and there's also there's a Bandcamp off the top of my head. It's like giving out album shout outs. You know what I'm saying? When you have the tape rolling and you trying to remember everybody.
Yeah.
Like I forgot to shout out my boy Chise that I've been grinding with in the studio. Looney Lovin'. There's a bunch of guys. All these guys are Catalyst. I love y'all. But a lot of these people, you know what I'm saying, just you can find all who I'm connected to on those links. And then on iTunes, if there's a few songs up there on iTunes, there's the DreamXound compilation, which you can actually hear your boy, DJ Civil Rightz,
yes,
on that album as well. And it's just type in DreamXound, and it'll pull up. So the website is under construction right now. DreamXound.com is under work. The Addicted to Fame website is the one that I'm affiliated with now. Will be up soon. So you'll be able to see my bio and stuff on there, and some new projects that we're working on. So love y'all. God bless. And y'all keep it real, you know what I'm saying?
For sure, man. Thank you so much, Henny P. This has been another Power 106.5 Speak Life TV exclusive interview from Tulsa to Florida, man. Give it up for our boy Henny P. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys stay tuned in and keep God first and the rest last. We out.